Yeah. So let's go to Matplot library. It's Python's foundational plotting library. Almost every other plotting tool, including Seaborn, is built on top of Matplot library. What's the anatomy of Matplot library? This we have to be familiar with. Uh, Usually we need to understand how, usually we're going to need it whenever we're doing EDA. You want to check your bar chart or something. You want to plot a line. So the first thing is to add this. This is saying the whole figure. Uh, is helping us to put the uh our plots in a particular position. This is exactly where you want to add if you want to add a multiple plot. So you have to put it here like you need how many rows and columns that you need. Maybe you need 2 rows and 2 columns of plots. So each plot, so if you have a 2 rows and 2 columns, so you're expected to have 4 plots. Because a single row will have two columns. Then the next row we have 2 columns. So you have 4. So that is just a side. Then this one is saying you should draw something here where you are going to put your X and Y. Then this one is just giving us a space or um, a line of code that we can put our title. So in here you have to put your title. Here you have to put your label. So this is the title, and these are the label. X, this is Y label, and X label. This is the title. And so this particular one now we are having, I think we are having 1 by 2, 1 row, 2 column. Let me see. Yeah, if you look at it here, we have 1 by 2. 1 row, 2 column. Yeah. Excuse me. So this typically says set your Y label, set your X label, and plot to show. This is displaying. So this is the usual anatomy of Matplot library. It takes time for me personally to understand these sequences. So I believe it's going to take a little time for you, but I never practice it very well. So if you do practice it very well, I believe you're going to master it in a matter of days. If you can plot it multiple times, then by the time you start writing it, you understand. And I swear the Google Colab gives you a lot of help when you are typing, so it gives you a way to complete your codes easily. So why label axis? So without label, a reader cannot know what the name numbers mean. So we all know that we need a label on our x-axis and our y-axis. So which plot for which question? Now, this is very important. Imagine if you want to check for a trend over time and you are using a bar chart, that is not going to be effective. So when you are checking for trend over time, looking at maybe you're checking the temperature as a day from the morning to the afternoon. So you want to see how it's trending. So usually you want to use a line chart at that point. Whenever it's on periodic sequence or on time or something like that that is continuous. At that point you have your on your x-axis will be the period of time, and on your y-axis will be the temperature. So take notice, put that as a very important notice, something you have to remember. So when you are comparing categories, yeah, categories was one I was finding difficult to explain to you yesterday. I'm not sure I still have the right explanations because I've not even checked it. But categories is usually something that is qualitative, a measurement that is qualitative. Um, is it qualitative? No, a measurement that is not quantitative, in that is not a number, that is about yeah, let's say qualitative, like high, low, that is category. But when you have 0.1, 0.2, 1.2, 10, that is numeric, right? So now if you are comparing categories, you use bar chart. For example, in our home data set that we've been sticking to, we have products, which is talking about beans, rice, yam. These are categories, right? So you need to use bar charts when you are trying to compare different products, especially when you are trying to compare it with the like a quantity of sales or something like that with a numerical value. So you have to put a bar chart which shows the product on the x-axis and the quantity on the y-axis. Usually the quantity or the quantitative um, data is usually on the y-axis. Just take that as a rule of thumb. It's usually on the y-axis, except when you're comparing two numerical uh, um, data. Take, for example, you want to compare the quantity of sales compared to total sales in Naira or in, let's say, total sales up to let's say average. You want to compare the quantity of sales versus the total sales. So you just throw that in your chart as you can decide to use any axis for both measurement that we want to compare. So in that regard, you're going to use scatter plot, right? We're going to look at that subsequently. Then the last one is histogram. Histogram is used to check for a distribution, a or the frequency distribution, or can call it just distribution of our data. Usually it's for univariate analysis. I may be wrong, but most of the time we use it for univariate. That is, you use it just to check one measurement, like one variable. Um, yes, I think now we're gonna start by we want to start with bar chart, right? Let's start with bar chart here. Uh, if we are going to do a bar chart, so we want to do a bar chart. Mm, we want to do a bar chart showing total sales by city. We want to compare it together. So now let's say total sales by city, right? Uh, we want to make sure. Let me make sure. Now, to do that, you remember we need to group the cities so that we can have uh the total sales. Remember our data dot head looks like this, right? Um, let's see. So remember our data looks like this. We have multiple rise here, rise and different cities. Yeah. So now we want to make sure we have uh a single city. Okay, we have rise. Ibadan is 4579. So now we want to make sure that a single city here, let's say Lagos, we want to make sure we merge it together and put a sum on their total sales. And we want to be able to get the total sales for Lagos as a single entity. Remember the last time when I say we can get the unique value, right? We want to know how many cities do we have here. You know, the city that's unique. If I'm right, let's see. I hope I am. Oh, okay, I'm right this time. Um, Now we can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So after we aggregate these guys, we need just 7 rows after we do the grouping. So that is when we're gonna do the group by that we already we have we have already discussed before. But before then, let's just do df.data dot copy in order to remain safe. We don't want to mess up with uh uh sorry. We don't want to mess up with the copy of our data. So let's just stay safe. So create a copy of the data and save it on data frame. Now the first thing is to group our total sales by city. So we say total sales by city equals to df data frame, the one that we just initialized, dot group by. We want to group by city, and I prefer to use dot aggregate method. There are other methods that you can use. You can just use a simple dot sum method. But I want us to be familiar with this because this gives us more flexibility. And recently, a lot of data scientists prefer this because it gives us the opportunity to rename our column after aggregation. So normally, if I just use a dot sum, I will not be able to rename it as a city sales. So now you see I'm specifying this as city sales, right? That is the powerful features of dot aggregation method. So now we say city sales, we want to rename the new column is going to be city sales, and which column do you want to run aggregation on? That is on a column called total sales, on total sales. Then what operation do we want to run is dot sum operations. Just say sum. For now, I don't want to do sorting. I don't want to change the code for now because we are still very much a startup. So I'll say that's okay for now. Now we can now, let's see what happens if we check our total sales by city right now. Uh, let's just take it one step at a time. You see what we have here? Pretty right. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. We have seven of them, which of course that's what we're expecting. Another way to get that is you can say, if I'm right, you can say length of instead of saying everything should be, yeah, seven. Now, what else do we want to do? We want to sort the value, right? Uh, we want to make sure that why do we want to sort the value? Okay, maybe we shouldn't sort for now. Let's just do like let's just reset the index. Because right now, what we are operating on is not our city right now is the index, which of course I'm not sure we want to do that. Usually we want to reset the index. Dot reset index. Sometimes you don't have to reset index, but for the purpose of this course, I just want to make things simpler and not really simpler. I want to be consistent with what I'm doing because there are many ways we can do this, and you don't want to go down that rabbit hole. Um, we just want to know a particular way of operating. I want to go with that. So we say we reset index here and in place equals to true. Another way to do this, if we don't want to do in place equals to true is you say total sales by city is equal to total sales by city dot reset index. So I hope you really understand this. I cannot fail to not show you this because this is very important. Most of the time, I prefer using this one instead of re assigning our latest operation or latest action and reassigning it to the variable. But in that case, you can just say in place equals truth, and it's going to do the same thing for you. So uh I'll encourage we stick to, okay, let's just stick to this for the course of this lesson. But just remember this will also it will be enough for us. Um it will work for us. So let's see total sales now that we're indexed already. Total sales by city is equal to, you see now we have another index here, which is a default index. Now we have city as part of our data frame column and this as part of our data frame column. Now that we have grouped by city and we have all our aggregated city sales, the total sales in a city, now I believe we can go forward. Um, yeah. Now, to create a bar plot, like I said earlier on, this is a standard. You want to show this. This is to show the whole figure. The figure means the whole figure, and this one, the AX means the chart panel. You don't have to go into that complication. Just get used to the operation or to the workflow. So the next thing is to start calling on this our initialize the AX we initialized here, and this is going to be AX dot bar means we want to plot a bar chart, and these are the attribute that the parameters that it comes with it. We have X, which is the X axis, height is the Y axis, width is determines if we want to widen the size of the bar, and we don't really need to, okay, data is we have to specify the data we want to use. So this is where I specify the data I want to use. You remember we have our data here, total sales by city. So we say data we want to use is this. Then the x-axis is city. See, put a quotation on it. The height is city sales. City and city sales. Then, yeah, let's start by displaying it first. We have our ax.set title. We are yet to do that. We are yet to do this. But let's plot and show what we have here. Right here we have our chart. But if you notice one thing, it's not well arranged. It looks it's not in an ascending or descending order, which might be difficult to see or to analyze or for visualization. In that case, we need to add a sort somewhere here. Let's try it here first. Total sales. Yeah, we have it already. Total sales by city dot sort values. So when you use dot sort values, um, by city sales, it's going to ask you which column do you want to sort with and what order do you want to use. So we want a descending order. Now let's run this. Um, looks like we are not getting what we want here. Let me see first. Yeah, we don't have it yet. Let We go ahead and put it here after re-indexing. Hold on. So let's see if we have it here. Oh, have it yet? You know what happened? Oh my. You know, I was talking about in place is called a true the other time that if you don't use this, you have to reassign it to a variable, right? Now, this is what I'm facing here. This is the problem I'm facing right here because I never assigned this guy, this code to, I need to assign it back to total sales by city. I need to assign it to the variable to update it in order to reflect my current data frame. But since I did not assign it and I did not put in place it's called a true, uh, that was the problem. So for sort value, we actually have in place a parameter that we can use. So let's put in place equals, oh my goodness, equals true. And let's see if this gonna update our. So let's see what happens. Yes, it does. Now we have it in ascending in descending order from the highest. So absolutely seeing what we have here, Lagos is the first one that has the highest number of sales. While Ibadan and Lomé and the South African dude, uh, the South African guy, Joburg, has the third or fourth highest number of sales. Right, Accra, our our Nigerian counterpart, is just trying to survive here. That means Nigeria is better than Ghana here. With due respect. Um, well, you don't know my nationality, so you don't know if I'm biased or not, but the data is speaking out loud here. So just for the record, please remember, always remember to put in place equals true or to reassign it to uh, or to do like a reassignment in order to effect the action that we have taken. So please make sure you remember that. Now that we have done that, let's try um, and use our data frame, right? Data is equal to total city. So yes, now we have something that is much more um, visually inclined. Now we can also try to play around with the width of the bar uh, by using the width. Actually, we should be able to see it here. That there's a width. Yeah, there's a width that we can. All these are the parameters that we always use, so you can always check them. You don't have to remember everything at the top of your head. You're not meant to do that in the first place. So you see the width reduced here. I think I prefer the previous one. It's much more better. Now we need to set the title. Title should be total sales by city. City, then the X label. The X label should be city, and the Y label should be this. Then we should be able to go. Yeah. Right, now let's try to plot a line chart. Now, for a line chart, we are talking about trend over time, right? And in order to do that, we need to prepare the data to be grouped by month. Because in our data, we have a date, right? We have, let's see our data. Let's see here. DF, we have dates, right? We have total sales. So our date includes the date, year, and month, and the timestamp. So in order for us to extract that, we need to use uh, this method that I believe we talked about it earlier on, where we try to extract our month. Let's see. Let's start with df.copy, data copy. That's just a very important way of avoiding corrupting our data. And this is giving us a suggestion already, df.month. Um, Create another column that's month, right? Month equals yeah. We want to extract it from the date column. So dot date time dot to period, then month. You don't have to remember this. You can just copy or paste anytime you want to change the timestamp to, you want to extract a timestamp to month. Remember that. So now that we have our month, like I said, we could just use a dot sum operation. But earlier on, I told you I want to be consistent, right? I want to consistent with using aggregate function, aggregate method. So I would want to use this aggregate method here, monthly df dot group by month. Now it's giving us a suggestion, right? Dot aggregate. Then we want to say it is monthly sales, right? We want to name the column monthly sales. And we want to equals the column we want to use is total sales and the operation is sum, right? Let's see what we have here. So now we have month and monthly sales. So but right now this is like an index. The month is an index for us. We could have used it as an index as well. But I don't want to go through that. I don't want to start changing the code. I want us to be familiar with the same operation we do. So for the sake of for consistency, I want us to use, a reset to reset the index, right? Reset index, um, and when we reset index, we want to check for this guy and see what happens. Now our index has been reset. Uh, Now we have our month and the monthly sales, right? Um, Now what happened next is we need to convert because right now if we check our data type, this is very tricky. If we say dot info, right, to check our data type, you will see that our monthly sales is a float, right? And the month here is a period. Another way you can do this is just say D types, right? Just trying to show us, you say period and float, right? So, but here, we are about to aggregate um on a plot, right? For our plot, for our line plot that we're trying to work on, it it requires a string for the x-axis. So now how do we change a period data type to a string data type. So this is how we change it. We say df month, right? Want to change the data type of the month column equals to df month, df month, or you can just say df dot month dot as type, as type string. So this is how to change a data type from one data type to the other. Now we're changing from periodic data type to a string data type. Now when we convert this, as soon as we run it, we are expecting um, to have an object instead of string. Let me see where something is up. Yes, now I see the error that I was making. You see, if you notice, I am doing I'm checking the monthly data type, while the string that I already changed, the data type conversion I made was on a data frame on DF, not on monthly. And what I was supposed to do was to do it on monthly, right? Because monthly um is the latest data set, data frame that we're working on, right? So right now, I believe we should have an object instead of a period for month. Yes, now we have an object. So this is a very interesting challenge. Well, that is so pretty. It's good that we encounter it. We also check here. Uh, we also check here monthly info. We should be able to see that. Yes, we have our month, which is an object, right? Data type object. Um, Now that we're able to figure out our the problem, let's check the monthly data set, see how it looks like. So this is the monthly, and we see month and monthly sales, right? So now we can go ahead and we know that our month is already an object. So now we can go ahead and start our line chart here. If you are confused, you can just put in the chat, discuss it, then I'll be able to link into the error. We can go over it together. So to plot a chart, we're gonna use oh, okay, we already have it here, so we don't have to go so far. So the first thing, like I already told you, is to put this line of code first, which shows the plot that you want to, the type of the structure of your plot. For now, we don't need any subplots. We just need just a single plot. And here also we have a plot, ax.plot, which asks for the data, the type of data we want to use. We say we want to use monthly data frame, and it's asking us what's the X value. We say it's month. What's the Y value? We say is monthly sales, right? And the title is this, monthly total sales over time. The X axis, the X label, the Y label. And this is just telling us like On the x-axis, we want to rotate the label of the x-axis such that we have enough space so that we will not be overlapping. Um, and now with this, I don't know what this does, but here but I believe it's just a part of some aesthetic or the part a way to tighten up your layout or something, as the name implies. And this is supposed to display our chart. Let's see what we have here. Now we have got an unexpected keyword argument X. Where is that? This is from plot. X is equal to month. Let's see what happens here. Okay. So I think it's not expecting us to put X and Y. So for this particular plot, it's only expecting us to use this. And let me see if I move this here. Um, I'm just trying to change the position of the data. So this is X, Y, and the data. So for this particular line chart, I think it's specific for this particular line chart because I'm used to putting X equals to Y equals to and data equals to. So let's see. Okay, now we are able to see our chart coming out. So for line chart, just notice like you don't need to put X equals Y equals, just put the name of the column, the variable that you want to use as X label, which is month, and Y label is monthly sales. Okay, now let's try and create a bar chart. A bar chart compare categories as we remember we talked about. Now we're going to compare categories by products. The first thing is to do like a df equals to data copy. So we're going to use our df going forward, df.group by. Now we are giving ourselves some challenges. We want to group by product and we want to find the mean. So that's why we say average by product. So average sales by product. Yes, I think that's what we're looking for here. Um, if I'm right, yeah, let's just go ahead and get it done. So, what do we do here? We say dot arg, right? Dot arg. Mm, say average. mm, Average sales. Let's just say average sales. We want to name the column average sales, and what do we have here is which column do you want to operate on? Total sales, right? And which operation do we want to do? We want to do or mean, right? Um, let's see what we have here. Control. Let's see what we have here. Average. Let's reset index in place equals to true. And let's check for our average products. Okay, now we have products and we have average sales, right? By product. Now we need to sort the values. But before we sort the value, let's see. Just search. Let's just sort the value then. Sort values, average sales, ascending in place. Was it true? Now we have tomatoes to be the highest average sales, and wheat is the highest, second highest average sales. Now we have it in an order manner. Now what do? We go plot our chart. So this says figure axis. Now we need to remember what we used to do. We say equals to, right? PLT plot dot subplot dot subplot. Yeah, it's something like this, right? And the next thing is AX dot bar chart. We want to do a bar chart, right? A bar chart. Remember we did that already before. But we want to try it again, practice makes perfection. Bar charts, we have is going to ask us for uh the x-axis is average. Let's say, does it have x? Yeah, x height and width. So x-axis, our x should be x is equal to product, right? And you say y equals to average price. No, you remember it's not y, right? It is height. It's in height. So you have to be very careful what we put there. Height equals to average sales, like we have here, average underscore sales. Then we say color. This is just the color that we want to use to show the bar. And now we do set title. So ax dot set title. Mm, average price. Oh, is it sales or price? Average price. No, it's price that we want to work on. Sorry. Compare control. So we want to create. Sorry, I made an error here. So we need to clearly product by price. Yeah. So here we just need to change the column that we want to work on and say we want to work on price per kg. What do we have here? Is it price per kg? Let's see what's our data looking like. Yeah, it's price per kg, just to be sure. Yeah, I think that's all. Then we say average price, not sales. Just to be clear on our average price, um, average by product. So we have our average price here. So here we're going to use average price instead of average sales. Sorry for that mistake. And product height. So we have set title to be uh, average price per kg, average price per product rather. So this is product and this is price. The XY level is price, average price per kg. Mhm. So we have this set already. We have this set already. Um, rotate axis. Let's just copy from here. Rotate axis. I always, yeah, copy and paste code. Plot the tides, plot the show. I hope we are right. Well, there's something wrong. Mm, we are not putting our data right. We're supposed to have our data equals, we need to specify our data equals what? Equals average byproduct. I hope that's the problem. I hope that will be able to solve the problem. Okay, now we have everything here. And you can always change this color to maybe blue or something. Uh, yeah. So you have that flexibility, and that is how to create a bar chart. Remember, ax.bar. You have all other things that you can check for that gives you the attributes of what you're working with. I believe that works well. We have all that we need. The rotation, if you don't put the rotation, you will have this to be just like a normal text. It will not be slanted. So you put rotation because if we don't put rotation here, you can imagine how this is going to be overlapping, right? It's going to be very pretty bad. So that is the essence of rotation. That's just aside, and I believe it's going to help. So here you have your practice challenge. You can decide to go over these and just try your own total quantity sold by city. Just use what we did earlier on, but this time you're going to use total quantity sold instead of average price. So total quantity sold is telling us to get the sum, right? Yeah, we are looking for the sum at that point. Now